Namaste. Myself, Dr. Roshni Aniruddhan, Professor, Department of Coimbatore of Government Ayurveda College, Kannur, Kerala. So, I'll introduce myself. I had my BAMS from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum in 1997 and had my first PG in Samkhya Siddhantas in 99-2002, and later on I had my second PG in Coimbatore and then my PhD in childhood autism management. So I am excited to be a part of this Ayurveda conversation. So I am excited to be a part of this seminar organized by AVP, and I am a bit more excited to see the topic of discussion, that is whether Deva Vibhasraya, Sattva Vijaya or Yukti Vibhasraya treatment, which one is better, or can we include everything in one shelter or something like that. Shall I do it once more? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because you got everything. I can edit bits and pieces of, but if you can make it in a one little snappy paragraph,
yeah,
that'll be fun. Okay.
I'll start once more.
Okay then.
Shall I start? Namaste. Myself, Dr. Roshni Aniruddhan, Professor and Head, Department of Coimbatore of Government Ayurveda College, Kannur, Kerala. I am happy to be a part of this seminar organized by AVP, and I'll have a brief introduction about myself. I graduated from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum in 91-97 and did my first PG in Samkhya Siddhanta in 1999-2002 and had my second PG in Coimbatore. As I told you, I am presently working in the Department of Coimbatore and had my PhD in childhood autism management. And I am with pediatric practice for the last 22 years. I am excited to be before you to talk about this Vibhasraya Chikitsas. So, being a base from Samkhya Siddhantas department and further education in Coimbatore, so with a base of Samkhya, I'll be having the clinical application in Coimbatore. So the first question given to me was the applicability of Yukti Vibhasraya, Sattva Vijaya and Deva Vibhasraya Chikitsa. When Charaka has explained about these Vibhasraya Chikitsas, I don't feel it's an airtight compartment where someone has to go strictly for Deva Vibhasraya alone. Someone has to rely on Yukti Vibhasraya alone and Sattva Vijaya separately. So I think it should go hand in hand while managing all the diseases. As Acharya has told that Prasanna Atma Indriya Mana is the Swastha Lakshana. So we have to target that Sharirika doshas, Manasika doshas, and apart from that, Atma is also being the targeted while the treatment, or Chedana Tadu has to be targeted while planning the treatment. So, in due course of observation and clinical practice, and maybe researchers in that ancient period, these experts in this field has realized that this Yukti alone can give explanation for everything in medical science. As medical science is never a linear phenomenon. In medical science, 2 + 2 is not always 4. And in most of the cases, more than 90% of cases, it's not 2 plus 2 is not 4. It is 5 or 6 or it's even unpredictable. So there is something behind, a mysterious something behind this non-linear equation. So while going to explain, give enough explanation for this non-linearity of this medical science. So, excuse me, 1 minute. So, to give an explanation for this non-linearity of this medical science, we have to find enough logic behind or an explanation behind. Not regarding the treatment alone. It's regarding the etiology. It's regarding the pathology. It's regarding that Karyakarana Siddhanta in the management and even regarding the prevention also. No disease in this world is having 100% clear etiology. Even though it is a communicable disease having a viral onset, viral etiology, but as you are very familiar that even though the virus or bacteria is backing up, it is not the same results or it's not the same clinical symptomatology it is bringing forth in all the population. We have seen when the COVID-19 was spreading with the same exposure, certain people were not having infestation. Certain people were that infected so that mortality and morbidity rate was so high. So something else was there apart from the virus. So that environmental factors, their immunity, their body resistance, everything was discussed. But that alone didn't answer the question. So something alone was apart from this has to be explained. It's not alone and not in communicable disease alone, but more in non-communicable diseases. Regarding the etiology, many diseases explains that etiology is obscure. In like 20% or 30%, it is obscure. Even when we are discussing the most prevalent disability in pediatric population, that is cerebral palsy, we all know that it's due to damage of the brain. But I have seen cases that almost 10 to 15 percentage of cases. I have seen that they don't have pronounced genetic abnormality. They don't have an abnormal antenatal history. They don't have a perinatal abnormalities or a like identifiable brain pathology. But still they are having or they are suffering from a developmental delay or a motor delay. So, though usually cerebral palsy is supposed to be the most studied disease, even we can see that 10 or 15% of the cases we don't find any MRI changes. We don't find a perfect etiology to point out. And starting from the cerebral palsy cases, when we come upon to other disabilities like childhood autism and all, it is more severe. 40% or 45% of the etiology is obscure. Even though the modern world is pooling a lot, millions and millions of currency to do researches in the etiopathology and management of autism, but still it is not proven that what causes autism. It's multifactorial. It's not genetic etiology alone. It's not immunological disturbance alone. It's not the structural or functional derangement of the brain alone. Something else is causing. So that something else is to be discussed. I was trying to say that our yukti is unable to answer all the queries in the medical science. So yukti means we are judiciously applying this aushadha, medicaments, ahara, then dietetics, and this exercise modulations or our vihara need to be modulated so as to combat the disease, or the derangements in this ahara, vihara and aushadha, misuse of medicaments is causing a disease also. So these karya karana siddhanta is not explainable everywhere. There comes the need of Deva Vipasara and also Sattvavajaya. Sattvavajaya is also a bit more logically explainable because we all identify or we have realized the role of our manas behind the causation of disease and also the power of mind in healing the disease as well. So even the modern medicine has accepted the power of mind and has come up with a different branches like psychology, psychiatry, and so on. So I don't think it's much needed to explain how Sattvavajaya Chikitsa is important. Because Sattvavajaya Chikitsa is targeting at the mental faculties. Ahidepyo, arthepyo, mano nigraha. It's like training the mind to behave properly, not to indulge too much in ahita and to restrain back or channelize itself to the hita. So it's a training, or I can call it as psychological training. It's a trained mind so that it's supposed to behave in a healthy pattern. So Yukti Vipasaraya, Sattvavajaya, and the third one is Deva Vipasaraya, where we cannot explain that logic behind, where there it's not acting in the mind psychological plane alone, something above that. I won't call it supernatural. I would rather call it targeting at vital power, believing that healing power of vital energy or a supreme energy can be correlated to the Deva Vipasaraya. So, Deva Vipasaraya comprises of Beli, Mangala, Homa, Niyama, Prayashchitta, Manidharana, then Tirtha, that pilgrimage, and everything comes under this Deva Vipasaraya. And in pediatric practice also, in many instances, Deva Vipasaraya Chikitsa is given due importance. Some may feel that in Bala Upacharya, especially the newborn care, some may feel that Deva Vipasaraya Chikitsa is given utmost importance than the Yukti Vipasaraya Chikitsa. Because when we receive the baby, we are supposed to receive the baby, and soon after that we are supposed to chant the mantra on his ears. And certain procedures seem to be ridiculous. Ashmano Sankatanam Karnayo Moulik. That is, two stones are supposed to be make a sound near the ear of the baby. Later on, logical explanation like eliciting the morose reflex by clapping the hands or making a loud noise and evoking that morose startle response, and this reflex center were situated very near to the respiratory and cardiac centers in the brain, has proven to stimulate that respiratory and cardiac initiation in the newborn. So I would say that it sounded to be a part of Ashmano Sankatanam, that is hitting of the stones near the ear, sounded to be somewhat like they were Basraya Chilsa, but later on, when we have a valid explanation or logical explanation for that, now I won't say that it's a pure Deva Basraya Chilsa alone. Apart from clapping the stones, there we can give a logical explanation why it should be done like that. What's the importance of eliciting the Morose reflex? What's the importance of stimulating the cardiorespiratory area? So, when we are not in a position to give proper explanation for these procedures, but giving a positive result in the medical practice is usually laid under the heading of Deva Basraya. Now in this position also, I can't answer why this mantra is to be chanted soon after the baby is born. Even before Nabhinali Chedanam, this mantra is to be chanted. Maybe that resonance of the sound waves, maybe some logic should be behind it. Even though the logic can't explain, there comes that entity of Deva Basraya. So everywhere, even regarding that of the medicine also, we can't explain that logically why that medicine acted on such a dosha and seated in that dhatu. We were trying to explain that action of all the drugs on the basis of Rasa, Virya, Guna, Vibhaga and all. But lately Acharyas, it is confessing that even though Rasa, Virya, Vibhaga are able to explain many of that pharmacological actions, we are unable to explain many actions by this principle. So that is why Acharya has put forward Prabhava or Vichitra Pratyarabha. Logically unexplainable, something beyond logic, something is working. So some words like Prabhava or some words like Adrishta Karma or Purva Karma or Deva, when it comes, it is not mandatory that we should see a religious outfit in that. It can be an unexplainable phenomenon behind. Or I should say that it's an unexplainable phenomenon behind. That's a non-linearity of that medical science. Coming back to that Navajata Paricharya, many samskaras has been told in Bala Paricharya, especially Shodasha samskaras, 16 samskaras, starting from the Garbhadana. All these 16 samskaras are not adopted in our medical treatises. It is said somewhere else, in other religious texts or in other contemporary sciences. But having medical importance has been adopted to our medical textbooks, medical classics. And Jatakarma Samskara is Varnamanta. Soon after the baby is born, baby is supposed to undergo Jatakarma Samskaras. And it consists of 3 points. That is Dakshina Stanabana, that is baby to be fed on breast, that is right breast, soon after the baby is born. And second one is Uddada Kumbhasthavana, that is an earthen pot full of water to be kept near the head of the baby. And third one is giving Swarna mixed with Madhukrita to the baby. So this feeding of the breastfeeding, initiating the breastfeeding soon after the birth is very logical and I think Acharyas made it into a religious backup so that everyone is obeying that. So it's a religious covering or a religious covering for a medical issue. Maybe in that times home deliveries were more common. Vaidyas, that number of Vaidyas may not be, or the medical assistants may not be that available in the entire society. So it is like, I feel it's like educating the society regarding that medical importance. Like importance of initiating breast milk soon after delivery. Need to be educated to the entire society and how to educate. So maybe the experts have realized that if it's a part of custom or a charya, many of the charya has to be explained in many other texts, like contemporary texts, like Artha Pragasha or something like that, which is it's regulating the deeds and do's of the society. So if it's a part of that custom of the charya of the entire nation or of the entire society, the society will be bound to obey that very particularly. Even when then the medical expertise is not reachable to that person, the society, the teachings of society or the charya of the society will be followed by each and every person. So I think it's a medical knowledge covered in a religious outfit and presented to the society. So a bit of faith or a Deva Basraya Chikitsa is there, and it's naturally or beautifully coupled with Ittiva Basraya Chikitsa and given in as a sweet capsule. So that placing that earthen pot near that head of the baby, I don't have a proper logical explanation whether it's trying to maintain that humidity also. But the third one, that is Madhukrida with Hemaprasha. Excuse me. A third one, that Madhukrida and Hemaprasha. It is good enough logical explanation. The immunomodulatory effect of Madhukrida when coupled with Swarna is studied widely in many areas. So now we can answer in an empirical platform that how Madhukrida with Hema is effective and how this exclusive breastfeeding and initiating soon after delivery is effective. So comes to that next samskara, which is a part like nishkramana samskara or namakarana samskara. The second comes to namakarana samskara. Again, it's a part of customary to be obeyed by all. Naming the baby on the 11th day. And along with the naming ceremony, Ayu Pariksha is also coupled. So it's a beautiful combination of a religious custom coupled with a medical. Examining the body, baby completely, for any medical issues like examining the scalp completely, seeing the head size, any brachycephaly or any shape deviation in shape or size of the head, like every organ is to be analyzed in detail. Every head, nose, mouth, teeth, mouth, tongue, ears, everything to be analyzed detail. That all the samskaras, important is that all the samskaras is to be done by Vaidya. So early detection of any diseases or abnormality is the reason behind. But until and unless that Kaumarabhartya was well analyzed and studied in academics, these samskaras were supposed to be a part of the Vasraya Chikitsa. So as we are advancing, many of the Deva Basraya Chilsas are getting logical explanation. That's why that was my intention to elaborate this. Similarly, Karna Vedana Samskara, the next comes the piercing of the ear at around 6 months of age. Why a Karna Vedana should be done? And Acharya has told that Reksha Apushana Nimittam cha. It is Reksha Nimittam, and also second one is Apushana Nimittam. So Reksha Nimittam is something related with immunology, protecting the baby against the disease causing organisms. How an artificial wound or artificial creating a wound and the pinna of the ear can cause an immunological response. Now science is Ayurveda is in such a level that we can elaborate it like how that wound healing process, a delayed wound healing process. We are puncturing the earlobe but not letting it heal suddenly. Delayed healing, that making that wound open with a metallic piece or something like that inserted, so that the wound is not like getting healed off very quickly. So the immunological response in the body is so high that the bloodstream is getting alert, and this alert bloodstream with a lot of inflammatory markers is setting the baby having a different phase or a more alert phase in managing or managing the other viral or pathogenic organisms. So similarly, it was again supposed to be a part of religious custom alone or a Deva Basraya Chilsa alone, Mani Dharana. But now logical explanations are more. But I don't say that it's the logic alone behind. Mani Dharana may be having much more above that logic. Now the gemology has come out stating that many of the Mani Dharana with diamonds, ruby and other birthstones, they are having causing a positive reverberations in certain people and then causing a negative also in certain. Due to that ability to absorb certain wavelength of light or energy in them, and similarly having and emitting a different. So it is not regarding, not fully explained, though it is not fully explainable. Now it is like 10%, at least 10% of that is explainable. So I am coming to the point that if we are not able to explain a point or a deed or a charya, don't think that it is unscientific. At present knowledge, of our present knowledge, or with our technologies now, present technologies, we are unable to decode or give a logical explanation for that. Maybe in future we can give explanation. So I don't feel that it should be a point of denial. Better, if it's not causing a harm, better we could include it in our treatment protocol or in our management protocol or in our life schedules and wait and see until if we can give logical explanations. And many of the Deva Basraya Chilsa is preparing the Atma to face that situation. So as Yukti Basraya Chilsa is targeting at the Sharira, Sattvavajaya Chilsa targeting at the Manas, and Deva Basraya Chilsa targeting at the Atma or the vital energy, vital force. And one more thing to add is that when Charaka comes to Vimanasthana, Vibhasraya Vedena, it is only twofold classification. Charaka Vimana has told that Vibhasraya Vedena, it is only two. That is Yukti Vibhasraya and Deva Vibhasraya. So Sattvavajaya was not included there. So Sattvavajaya Chilsa is actually was a part of the Ayurveda regimes, making the people follow a strict religious or customary life schedule, so that he is more on the sattvika line of life, learning, attaining knowledge, but restricting them to deviate from the path of rightness or dharma. Adharma is the root cause of many diseases and almost all diseases. So teaching the people, teaching the subjects to follow the proper route of dharma is actually the core aspect of the Ayurveda. While I had my first PG in Samhita Siddhanta, our department, under the guidance of Dr. K. Sundaran, that our HOD at that time, he was the superintendent of Mendel Hospital at Kottakkal. He was an expert managing the psychiatric diseases. Under his guidance, we had undertaken a research work on Deva Vibhasraya. The researcher was Dr. Seema T.S. Now she is a professor of Rachana Sharira. At that time, during our student life, the research was on Deva Vibhasraya, trial to find a logical explanation. How far we can give explanation for that. We as a team of Samhita Siddhanta department under the guidance of Dr. K. Sundaran, we had visited almost 10 to 12 these faith healing systems of Kerala in almost all the religions. It's not only in Hindu system, in Christianity and also in the Muslim we had visited. Even some homas like Adhiratra Homa, we stayed there for days and weeks, where Kirlian photographers were also present to find that aura effect of that Adhiratra and all. So we all felt that, and the research concluded that this Deva Vibhasraya Chikitsa is bringing out a positive vibe or a positive energy field in all the people who are undergoing this. Though we can't give a good logical explanation behind. The Kirlian photographers were able to pick out that positive energy field through their instruments and all. We even visited some temples which are famous for healing psychiatric diseases. We stayed with that psychiatric cases, patients in that spaces allotted for them, and we were surprised to see that the food they were given, the clothes they were given, their dinacharya, everything had a medical component in that. The temple rituals they were exposed daily, the medicines used for thubana, medicines used for homa, the drugs used for lighting that lamp, that fumes emitted, the colors used for alankara of that deities, everything was so peculiar. That sound, reverberations created by the sound of that temple bells, that red colored dresses worn by the deities, that multi lighting of that lamps create in a dark atmosphere, the dark and closed atmosphere, that reverberating sound, that closed in the closed rooms, that bright lights, that temple bell, everything created a very peculiar atmosphere for these psychiatric patients. And when we visited certain mosques which are handling the psychiatric cases, they were also given a very sattvika diet and 2 or 3 bathing daily. And walking in and these places, it was situated in a very calm, these religious places were situated in a very calm environment. One of the mosques was situated in near that sea banks. So these people were supposed to walk a long distance in the seashore daily. So altogether creating a positive mood, or positive, or giving a rest for that GIT, or waiving off the possibility of any Agni Mandya thereof. As Agni Moolam Balam Pumsa means, Agni is not in the GIT alone. It is causing a different level of immunity, Balam Pumsa, level of immunity by correcting that. It is not Ahara Janya Agni Mandya alone. Even Manasika Bhavas can cause Agni Mandya. Chindyanam cha Adi Chintana, this is the main reason for Rasadhatu Dushti. Haya Disar, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Irshya, everything is the reason for Agni Mandya. So it is regarding the Jadarakni, Thatvakni, and so it is regarding that Jadarakni, Thatvakni, and that healing Agni power, or the healing vital power in the body, is being kindled or energized exponentially with this Daiva Vipassana agents. Without such a religious belief or surrendering our mind and body to the supreme power, I am not advocating or any religious, I am not even trying to name that religion, but that surrendering in front of a supreme power gives a mental obedience and a strong belief that he or she is going to be healed, or someone is going to support them in the healing process. A feeling of protection, cultivating the habit of meditation, creating an atmosphere of divine healing situations with due importance to sattvika ahara, less spicy, less quantity, and very timely ahara, restraining him or her to be having snacking or anything in between. Alpa Bhojan, Sattvika Bhojanam only twice or maximum thrice a day. Most of the centers I have visited, it's only 2 times ahara. After the morning prayers and rituals, and just before that evening rituals. No afternoon lunch was there. And more hydrating the body more with medicated water, medicated showers, and everything. And also the Thupana. Thupana was it was customary in many of the places. And many dravyas having this Rakshokna karma was used for Thupana. In many religions, it's not only in Hindu religions. Thupana was, as you all know, Thupana is having very good clinical results in tackling that hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and even that endocrine system, neurological system, and immunological system can be activated through this mechanism. So even though we can't give a logical explanation for all this, but we can find that it's a positive logical explanation working behind it. but something apart, actively kindling this vital energy should be. And another move to add on, and second question which I was addressed was that whether how to manage Deva Vipasraya or diseases due to karma. So, incorporating a customary belief or like having a healthy life schedule, apart from advising the medicines, dietetics, exercise, and everything, inculcating a healthy charya and a feeling of surrendering to a supreme power, or realizing the inner health of, realizing the inner power, inner healing power, should be inculcated in our medical practice also. I will say it with the help of example. I have children, very few children who are following a healthy life schedule, and many of the children follow an unhealthy life schedule because their parents also do so. Brahme Muhurte Uttishtet is an advice. What happens if the Brahma Muhurte, we wake up at Brahma Muhurta? We feel good. Or someone is not used in waking up early, they won't feel good also. So it is like charya that is correcting the circadian rhythm, setting it in the right pathway so that your melatonin, your neuroendocrine system is made easy to work with. Then those who are having who are bowing in front of a supreme power, usually they have a customary lifestyle, like waking up early, having bath, having very light diet, doing 1 or 2 upavasas in a week, speaking softly, don't indulging or having a negative thoughts about others, realizing our potential, not telling lies, everything sattviga. That is kindling more of sattviga compartment, reducing the tamasika doshas. And it's not totally sattva alone, a bit of karma, karana, shakti, everything attributed to rajas guna. So it is a predominantly a sattviga disposition, a bit of rajas in that, but devoid of tamasika gunas. The way of attaining such a mental status is easy through this Deva Vipasraya than any other. Usually those who are following such a life schedule is supposed to have a sattviga dominated disposition backed up by a rajas and devoid of tamasya guna. So the possibility to have a disease in them is reduced, and also if succumb to a disease, that success rate of prognosis is also better. So when we are introducing this Vipasraya Chikitsa into practice, as Krishna Kumar ji always advised, it's not medicine alone, it's not diet alone, it's your life schedule which matters. Believe in yourself, realize the power you have. So that matters. So apart from the treating the Sharira and Manas, that healthy life schedule, even the medical sciences has now realizing that power of healthy life schedules. That feeling of protected by a superpower, or feeling that power of inner soul is advice, is what is meant by Deva Vipasraya. That is how we can include it in a clinical practice. And but may sound to be superstitious in some occasions, like while we are dealing with the Balagraha Pradisheda and all. Balagraha, the word graha itself is a misnomer. Balagraha in olden times, like it was supposed to be a supernatural power causing a disease in a newborn. And Acharya said that baby in the postnatal day 6, babies are more prone to be attacked by grahas. Then with the word graha, we used to correlate it with some supernatural powers. Later on, when we are adding more and more research outlooks and medical knowledge to that, now we are aware that many of the newborn infections are more prone in the first and second week of delivery. Especially meningitis, encephalitis, sepsis, everything is more common there. So the first week is the crucial time of adjustment in a newborn. And the baby should be protected thoroughly with all the Raksha Karmas. And have you seen what the Raksha Karmas comprises of? Having clean white clothing for the baby, mother and the caretakers. All the bedspreads, towels, everything should be clean white. Baby should be cleaned well and worn white clothes. Ensuring the hygiene status, cleanliness. And the mother and the baby should be bathed daily. The breast should be cleared daily. It's not daily, it has to be cleared before every feed with medicated water. So hygiene is also a main part of Deva Vipasaraya Chilsa. Whenever Deva Vipasaraya Chilsa is advocated, it is inculcating the cleanliness, hygiene in practice. Then fumigating the room with antimicrobial, I won't say that it's antimicrobial alone. Fumigating the room with medicines which are having Rakshokana property. Now researchers have come up with the efficacy of these drugs in reducing the microbial colonization, viral colonization. I don't feel it's reducing the colonization alone. This Subana has a multifaceted activities. And these Rakshokana Aushadas to be sprinkled around that baby. And even these Thare Sadadam Vaja, these Mani Dharana, Hastapyam Grivaya Murthini Mani Dhari, when tying money and arms, necks, and even legs you can tie. So, as I said earlier, it is something auspicious, something to be kept neat, that prabhava of the dravya. And vacha is given utmost importance. We can think why vacha. That tikshna smell, ugra granthi. Ugra gandhi is used. Everything adds on to a bit, it's logical explainable. But 90% is not completely explainable. Agnim chasa prajwalet. So, a fireplace is to be kept nearby the baby. So, to ensure that control of humidity and the place. And Vrinita Upasaniyascha Avekshedai. So, newborn should be cared as if we are carrying an injured man. So everything should be that cleanliness is a part of custom. It's giving a medical advice to society that you are supposed to do like this for every baby. And giving a warning that baby will be attacked by grahas if you are not doing that. So a denial is not usually denial can usually be avoided by the society. So that is how in practice we do advise. We do advise Thupana, we do advise the Madhukrita Prasana, etc. and clinical practice. So though it's not completely explainable, it's a part of Devi Vyabhasraya Chikitsa itself. And again, regarding the behavioral pediatrics, I will comment upon, I'll add one more point. As I had my PhD in childhood autism, I do manage many kids having autism. Many patients has asked me why my child is autistic. I don't have a genetic abnormality. Our family is not having such a history. I didn't have any bad diet. And my antenatal history was perfect. No perinatal insults were there. But why he is autistic? As I said earlier, it's obscure. Etiology is obscure. And like diseases like this, when Acharya Charaka has explained regarding Sattva Vaisheshika Garabhavas, there comes the importance of Deva or Adrishta Karma. How your Sattva is decided. Then Charaka answers that your Sattva is going to be decided by 4 factors. Mata Pitra Sattva, that is the Sattva disposition of your parents. Purva Janmarjita Karma Phala, depending upon your deeds in your past life. See, which we are not aware of. Maybe our life is a continuity of some life in the previous Janma also, but we are not aware. We are not aware doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. We are not aware. So, Purva Janmarjita Karma. And the third comes Andarvatnya Srutayescha Abhikshna, means the auditory impulses which the pregnant lady is experiencing. Andarvatni means the pregnant lady. Srutayescha Abhikshna means the auditory, hearing what, see how the auditory impulses of the lady is having the capacity to modulate the sattva of the baby in the womb. In Puranas and all, we have heard that how Abhimanyu, heard the story of Abhimanyu, that breaking of the Chakravyuha and all, he heard it while he was in the womb. Maybe it was a story in the Purana. But now, medicine is in such a level to prove that auditory impulses have a very good or profound capacity to shape the psychological status of the baby. Even in the womb, at the time of delivery, baby can't actually see. His vision is something blurred like. But his audition is very perfect. He can identify that sound he has used to hear. By the sound, he can identify his mama and papa. With the smell of breast milk, he is identifying the mother. So, Sattva Vaisheshikara Bhavas are 4. Mata Pitra Sattva, Purva Janmarjita Karma, Antarvatnya Srutayescha Abhikshna, and Nityabhyasa. So, of the 4 factors, we are able to tackle only 2. Excuse me. We are able to tackle only 2 of them. That is Abhyasa and the experience, auditory experiences with the lady. The other 2, Mata Pitra Sattva, we can't change. And the second one, that's Purva Janmarjita Phala. Maybe automatic genetic shuffling or unpredictable genetic shuffling may be attributed to that, but something unexplainable in our logic, something we cannot control. So here comes the role of Devyabhasraya Chikitsa or advisors, including Devyabhasraya, in before the conception or during the pregnancy, soon after the baby was born. So I would like to conclude that it is a part of writer's living. It's a part of healthy lifestyle. The way you should be, the way of realizing the inner power. It is not super magic, or it's not faith healing, or a magical healing, or a believing in a super healer. It's realizing our inner power or a supreme vital power, feeling the protection of that vital energy or the supreme healer, meditating, praying, restricting the bad thoughts or evil deeds, obeying that yama, niyama. It's a right way of living. Obeying the circadian rhythm, obeying the rules of dinacharya and rutucharya, obeying the hita ahara, everything. That's it. In toto, a right method of living. So, as I said earlier, it's not a watertight compartment or airtight compartment. So, all these three Vyabhasraya Chikitsas should be included as a in toto in attaining swasthya. That is Prasanna Atma, Prasanna Indriya, and Prasanna. I had a chance to meet Krishna Kumarji many times. Very memorable moments in my life. I had been there for the Karma Prakashini series many a times. And after that, energetic brainstorming sessions, after that dinner, he used to call all the students for very, very calm, healthy discussions. I was surprised to see his level of love, affection, care, and his keen interest in inculcating the practice of healthy living, not only in the students, but for his disciples and all. It was actually a magical power in experiencing, or I was actually seeing a superhuman in him. That selfless, dedicated efforts in bringing up a golden race in the future of Ayurveda. He was more than a human being. The love and concern he showed to each and every person, everyone that feel that he is showering all his blessing upon them alone. But it's like a feeling that every individual will feel so. Showering of blessings. And it was a wonderful experience meeting him. So, again, in his loving memory of the beloved teacher of Ayurveda, I am grateful to be a part of this seminar also, for bringing up a different perspective in Ayurvedic management strategy. We have seen many seminars dealing with the logical explanations alone. So AVP has always tried in a different level. Nadi Pariksha I had attended and a different level of different plane of applying this medical science. So once again, I thank the organizers for giving me a chance to share my views, and I am ever obliged to the AVP team for this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you all.